You're listening to the Biz Babes with Soul podcast with your host, Melody Spencer, a show where female entrepreneurs get radically honest about life and business. Today's episode is sponsored by Swiftly Social Digital Marketing. Swiftly Social helps people create a heart-centered digital marketing and Facebook ads strategy that gets you results. For a free video tutorial on how to grow your Facebook following by 10,000 or more, visit swiftlysocial.com.
Hey guys, welcome to the Biz Babes with Soul podcast. I'm your host, Melody Spencer. I'm so excited to have Marina Barayeva here today. See, I said it right. Okay. Why am I so bad with pronouncing things, guys?
You're not. It's just my name. Sometimes it happens. The life of the business people is always challenging. You got it right away.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I'll leave this in here because you guys will laugh at this. So Marina is an amazing international portrait photographer, which I'm really excited to hear about how she got into that and her travels. And she's based in Beijing, China, which is super cool. So welcome, Marina.
Hi, Melody. And I'm so excited to be with you here. We started with laughing, and let's keep going and dig deep to the business stuff and all those interesting stories.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got into photography.
Well, I'm originally from Russia, and I moved to China in 2011, which was very exciting, very interesting. And people ask me often why. I got bored in Russia. And I decided that I want something different. I want to see the world. And China was for me like another planet. So I moved here. I lived here for more than 7 years. But I traveled a lot all over the world. And when I was younger, when I was a teenager, I really liked to do modeling. It was my hobby. And that time I had my corporate job, which I quit in 2008. And after that, I was doing freelance stuff everywhere. So that time I was doing full-time web design. I had international clients. And then I did like photography. And when I moved to China, I just leveraged my modeling background, acting, hobbies, and switched to photography as a full-time thing. I really love it.
Wow. So was it a steep learning curve to learn the ins and outs of photography, or is it just something that you just naturally were talented at?
You know, I'm a creative person. I love doing all those drawing, painting, acting, modeling things. And because I was a model, I was in front of the camera many times. It was easier for me to kind of switch to the backside of the camera. And because of that, I also was in some of the movie sets. I saw the lighting and I work with smart people. And I always like to ask, why this work this way? How this work? So people are happy to explain. And it helped me to learn and just to know how things works. Then I took some online courses. I've been in some workshops. I assist other photographers. And then I love photography. I switched to another side of the camera. And now when I work with people, my acting and modeling background helps me a lot to understand what you guys feel when you are in front of the camera. Because what happened when someone photographs you, usually you freeze. You will talk as long as I talk to you. But when I take my camera, everybody is like, oh yeah, hi, it's so cool. And that's it.
Yeah.
So I help you to be more comfortable, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. I've had a couple of branding photo shoots in the past year, and I always thought I was photogenic, but then it's just like so much pressure to be in front of the camera and to like turn your body a certain way and remember to smile, but don't like have stiff arms. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it gave me such a appreciation for models and for
Mm-hmm.
really good photographers, because all the pictures turned out great, but I felt like, oh, I just needed to loosen up. Like, it's a lot harder than you think it is.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
many people think this way, and a lot of in the photo shoot depends on the photographer, because
Yeah.
a lot of photographers usually photograph pretty girls, models, but they don't know how to lead people. And this is one of the hardest part of my work. When you know how to work with them, how to make people laugh and look natural in front of the camera, you get the shot, which they absolutely love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So after you started getting into photography, how did you turn that into your full-time business?
Little by little, because I was doing modeling, and actually that was a little tough even when I was a teenager. In my 20s, my agent told me, Marina, you're too old for being a model. I'm like, what? Imagine someone in your 20s say that you're old. It puts you down. She did not tell me that I'm too old for Paris and London for the big podium. So when I got to China, and in my like Russia and China, I understood that I feel even younger than I was, and I can do modeling again. And then when I started doing photography, that was a that was a fun situation. In photography or like modeling thing, we have the time for print photo shoots. It's when people get together, do the photo shoot, and everyone get the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I got together with a photographer, and he had all of those, the studio, fancy lighting, the latest camera. We spent the whole day photographing me, and in the end, I got 700 photos, and
Wow.
I could use only 2 of them.
Oh no.
Yes, because the rest of them, I look at them, some of them not bad. Some of them were horrible. I don't want to show to anyone. But I saw how just a little direction or different angle could make a good shot over there. So this is one of the biggest lessons I've learned. If someone have all the fancy things, it does not mean that the person is a professional. That time I decided I'm going to do it by myself. I'm going to photograph people as I see the angles, the emotions, the posture, everything. And then I just practiced. And that was a little difficult because I was in China and I had to learn it somehow. And when I learn something, I follow the rule. I find the person who I admire of, who work I like, who I feel is the person who I can look up to in the area which I want to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I learn from this person. So I picked several photographers. I took their workshops, classes. Then I assisted some photographers here. And then I was just learning. I've been in 3 photo shoots. I asked a lot of questions. I took bad photos by myself too. But that was difficult, but a lot of fun. And then I just started to charge people. But there's a lot of funny stories in that. When you're a creative person, it's so hard to sell your stuff.
Yes.
But you need to get to business somehow. So you have no choice. You either do your stuff or you quit. There's no reasons to think about, should I do this or I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should be a photographer, or maybe I should be a model. Just go and try. And then you'll see if you like it, you stay there. If you don't like it, you just leave. But you'll have fun.
So has marketing your business been the hardest part, or what has been the biggest challenge for you?
In the beginning, as a creative person, I try to put more effort to learning my craft, and I was looking more for appreciation of my work instead of selling the experience what people get, the service. And this was the difficult part. When I talk about selling, there was a situations in many years ago in the beginning of my photography business journey, and my sister came to visit me in China. We went to one of the networking events, and I often have the album of my work, the printed photos. So we get together with the group of another women and talk about photography, and they look at my picture and they were like, wow, so beautiful. I also would like some of those pictures. So my sister was saying me in Russian, Marina, sell. I'm like, in Russian also, Dasha, I can't. Yes, 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 they're so beautiful pictures. And my sister again, Marina, sell. Dasha, I cannot sell. Oh, they're so beautiful pictures. Okay, give me back my album. And I left.
No.
I could not. It was difficult. You need to set your prices. You need to, you need to not only show the pictures, but explain how the process will go, the service they get, the packages. And at that time, I didn't have my packages. I tried to do a little bit of everything, which I do not recommend people to do. When you start your business, pick a niche and start and focus on this.
Mm-hmm.
If I would be a photographer again and need to start everything from the beginning, I would pick one area. Like portraits is too wide. Which portraits? Headshots, or business portraits, or portraits for women, or portraits for speakers. Then it's much easier to find your audience and then market to them, because you know what their problems, what they want, and you can fit your work, your style for those people specifically.
Yeah, that's so true in any niche, because I do marketing full time, and when I first started 6 years ago, I said I would work with anybody and I would do anything, and that just led to burnout. It led to stress. It led to crappy money. Because I had no standard, and I was very back and forth on my packages. I was back and forth on my prices, and 6 years later, now I'm like, no, this is what I focus on. This is my package. This is how much I'm charging. I'm not gonna wiggle on that, because I actually respect myself. And I respect what I do, and I know I'm good at it. Just like I know you're good at photography. So you have no problem being like, this is what I charge. This is what you're getting. Either you take it or you don't.
Exactly. And when you grow, the difficult part is to say no to some work which you say that you will not take anymore. Like even in photography, if someone asks me to shoot the menu for the restaurant or the event, and this is not my main thing, I will say no. Sorry, I focus on portraits. If someone will ask me to shoot a wedding, if this is the small wedding, maybe I'll shoot it because I like to shoot love stories. But the big wedding, I don't like them. Even don't ask me. Even if you give me a lot of money, well, I don't know how much money you should give me that I would shoot your wedding. But you need to learn to say no to those small gigs. Otherwise, you will never specialize in what you're good at.
Yeah, that's extremely true. I think for a lot of us, we just say, oh, we need money, so we need to take whatever comes our way. You shouldn't say no to work. But if it's not in your zone of genius, if it's not something that makes you happy or lights you up, it's just going to cause more stress in your life, and that money is not going to be worth it.
I'll tell another story. I was struggling to pick the price and everything, and what we think, if we make our prices higher, that people probably will not buy the product. So a few years ago, I've done this experiment with people who sometimes reach me out from the side who I did not know. I do not practice on my clients or referral clients, but people who just found me on internet or on social media, I told them different prices for a couple of months. So for example, just numbers from the air, I could do photo shoot for 100, and another person I'll say I'll do it for 500. The reaction was the same. Oh, it's so expensive. Or maybe we can make it cheaper. Or I need to think about it. And there is no difference. And I thought, if there's no difference, that I'm free to raise my prices to the price which I happy with. So what people think, like, if I'll charge more, people will stop buying my product or my service. Try to raise your prices. If the person, if someone bought your highest package, it means that there is a market for this package. Raise your prices. Make it as your middle package or even the small package.
Yeah, that's very true. So do you put your prices on your website, or is it still custom to each client?
Well, in China, we use social media, which calls WeChat, and usually we interact over there. We do not use websites or foreign social media like Facebook as much as in US. So I have it standard in my PDF, which I send to clients, or I send it as the image. It's set. I don't hide my prices, but I don't put it on the website because my website is more like kind of international for branding, and there's just no reasons. Nobody see that in China.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just think a lot of creatives, people in like photography and marketing and all that, they're scared of putting their prices in plain view because they think, oh, I'm not gonna, like, no one's gonna want to work with me. But I think you attract the right people when people already see the prices, because they go, okay, either I can afford that or I can't afford that. It's not someone trying to get you to discount or change your price, because your prices are set. Yeah.
I think if you have your prices set already, you have packages, or you know what you charge for your products, you may put it on the website, so it will filter those people who are not ready to buy your service. Or if you can upsell the service or the product to with some other stuff, you can put it like the prices starts from $500. So people know that this is the minimum that they're going to pay. And when you talk to them, we had an interesting interview on my Marketing for Creatives show with Phil M. Jones, and we talk a lot about how to answer how much question.
Yeah.
What people usually do. They say 500, 1,000, 10,000. They say price right away. And he say, no, never do this. If someone asks you how much, you start asking them details about what they're looking for, how they found you, what do they like about your work. If, for example, I'm a photographer, or you need to know more about the person, what they're looking for, and how you can help them with your service to help their needs, to fulfill their desires. Then you tell your prices. And I ask, what if we already have the packages? It doesn't matter if I'll consult you, but I still have my 3 packages. And he said, like, whatever, anywhere you talk to the person, you need to talk from the position of consulting the person.
Yeah.
You don't tell, even if you set the prices, you don't tell the price of the package right away. Because when you consult the person, they feel that you really care about them. It's not only about the price, but you turn the situation that it's about the service you sell.
Yeah. There really is an art to that first meeting or that first phone call with a potential client or customer, because it's like you said, you need to kind of get them to trust you, to get them to see where their pain points are and how you can help them, and then you sell. I think you're right. People make the mistake of selling right away, and that freaks people out. I see that done all the time on social media, especially on Facebook. People will send messages to people they barely know and be like, buy my service. Excuse me, I don't know you. Why would I buy your service if I don't know you at all, if I don't trust you? So you really have to kind of get to know the person, show them the value you can give them, and make them feel comfortable before they're able to say yes to that whatever price you have.
Exactly. People do not like to be sold. You don't like when someone come to you and say, buy my service, or they give you flyers on the road. You will probably not go there. You will not buy this service. But when you know more about the person, you know what they need. If, for example, you need photography and I will tell you, I'm a wedding photographer. I'll shoot your wedding and, you'll be a beautiful bride. And I'm like, I'm already married, actually. So I don't need a wedding photographer, right?
Yeah. So what do you feel like you would say to a woman listening who wants to start her own business, who wants to become a photographer? What advice would you give her?
Well, I would give advice not only the woman who would want to start a photography or any business. If you want to do something, whether it's business or any other things, go for it. Start, try, make mistakes. You will make mistakes. This is just a reality. But I don't want to scare you with that. I just want you to be ready for them. Once you know that I'm going to have mistakes there, and that's okay. I will learn, and then you'll grow more, and then you'll develop your business. You want to do something, do it now. The worst thing can happen to you. If in a few years you will look back and you will think, I've listened to this episode, and she said, go for it, and I did not do anything. I wish I did. I wish I started my business, because in those several years, you could already build a business. Or you would say like, I don't really like these things. I want to start another business.
Yeah. I think a lot of women are just scared of starting, and they're scared of failure, so they get stuck in that place of just doing nothing. And I really want to encourage any of you listening, like she said, just go for it. I have made so many mistakes in the past 6 years. I have failed. I have succeeded. It's been a journey, but I don't regret any of it because it's taught me so many lessons about myself and about life and about business. So whatever you want to do, if it's, a side business, if it's a full business, if it's just trying a new hobby or going for a different job that's still a regular 9-to-5, go for it. Do it, because life is too short to be unhappy.
And you know what? I would add to that, you need to make the first step. As you say, it's very difficult. You need to make it with whatever you can and however you can. There were several years ago, I wanted to start the website, intnetworkplus.com, which now has a marketing for creative show. And that was in English. I had a blog in Russian, and I was quite comfortable with that. But I know that I'm not the native English speaker, and my English isn't perfect. Sometimes I make mistakes, but I knew that I want to do this. So I decided that I need to post my first article with something which I will feel comfortable. I don't care what it is about, but I need to make the first step. I knew that I want to write about business and marketing thing, but my first ever post in English was about traveling. I love traveling. That time I was in Argentina, and I just created a post about it. You can go to the website and check it out. And then I started to write about business, marketing, do all of those things. But the first step was just safe for me. It was my passion. And then everything will go on.
Yeah. I love that. It's true. So just do what lights you up, ladies, and what makes you excited, and the rest will follow if you're dedicated and you're passionate about it. That's so true.
Indeed.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how can they find you online?
Well, check out Marketing for Creatives podcast if you want to get more practical business tips. I bring a lot of fantastic experts to teach how you can do things. You can go to intnetworkplus.com or search on your favorite platform, Marketing for Creatives. You can search on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of these networks. And if you want to connect and talk to me on social media, I'm all over as Marina Barayeva. It's MarinaBarayeva. And we have more conversations on Instagram. So feel free to reach me out and say hi.
And I will definitely put all of those links in the show notes. Marina, it was so much fun to talk to you, and I'm so glad I was able to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody, so much for having me here.
Yeah, well, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And until next time, we'll see you. Bye. Thank you for joining me for the Biz Babes with Soul podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. To learn more about me, Melody Spencer, and the show, please visit swiftlysocial.com.